For the final time this regular season, the Charlottesville Tom Sox square off against the Harrisonburg Turks here from Eagle Field. I'm Alex ROCCO, joined alongside by Nathan Schwartz. And Nathan, this is the fourth and final meeting in Charlottesville, and the first three meetings has had a lot of success against these Turks.
Yeah, the first game between these two teams was all the way back the first couple of games of this regular season. Harrisonburg came into Charlottesville at Cho Airport Field and stomped the Tom Sox in that game. Jose Perez really did a lot of the damage in that one for the Turks, but the last two times these two teams have squared off, it was all Charlottesville, especially the last time these two teams played at this ballpark.
That's exactly right, Nathan, and a familiar face getting the start for the Turks. It's Robert Kelly. Kelly on the season, 0-1, pitching to a 3.22 ERA. He got the start the last time these two teams faced off, and giving you a quick preview of the Tom Sox lineup. Leading off, Kyle Edwards. Batting second, Bryce Martinez. Third, Hollis Porter. Fourth, Nathan Fink. Fifth, Garrett Spikes. 6, Calvin Alexander. 7, Connor Hinks. 8, Henry Ford. And rounding out the lineup is the center fielder, Sergio Rivera. You're just about to get set here from Eagle Field. Kelly is ready, Edwards is ready, and we are underway as Robert Kelly pours in a first pitch strike to Kyle Edwards.
Wasting no time getting going.
The next offering from Kelly misses in tight to Edwards. Kelly working out of the windup, deals the 1-1 pitch. That one grounded to the shortstop and through into left field for a leadoff single for Kyle Edwards. Left fielder Chris Katz gets it in quickly, and Edwards is on to begin the contest.
Edwards with his 26th hit of the season and just his second hit against Harrisonburg this season. He was 1 for 12 against the Turks this year, entering that at bat, and gets the leadoff man on for Charlottesville.
We mentioned the struggles for Edwards against Harrisonburg. Now it's Bryce Martinez, who's hitting .571 against these Turks, 4 for 7 in the two contests as he watches the first pitch from Kelly miss outside for a ball. Edwards always a threat to run on first base. Fake stealing as Martinez weighs through an off-speed pitch. Count is even at 1-1.
Something the Tom Sox hitters are going to have to get used to, and they got a little bit of a notice the last time Kelly pitched against them, was how quick he goes to the plate.
Kelly, wasting no time, pours in strike two, and Martinez quickly down on the count 1-2.
But it was clear that the Tom Sox figured out a way to get to Kelly in that last matchup. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, only 2 earned, and 3 strikeouts for Kelly in that game.
Edwards takes off for second. This one fielded on the ground by the second baseman, Tyler Borges, who throws it over to first base in time to retire Martinez. Moving up to second base on the play is Kyle Edwards.
Really interesting developing play there for Borges. Comes across the bag, really fields it at the shortstop position. Had no chance to get Edwards at second with the stolen base attempt. So that puts Edwards at second and Hollis Porter now at the plate with an RBI chance.
Now it's the left-handed hitting designated hitter tonight, Hollis Porter. He watches the first pitch miss outside for a ball.
Hollis 1 for 4 in each of the 2 games against Harrisonburg this year. Did have a double in the matchup at this very field about a month ago.
Porter with 3 doubles on the season and a big swing and a miss there from the heater from Kelly. Porter hitting just .231 so far this summer. This is his 23rd game played. Kelly deals the 1-1 pitch, can't find the outside corner, and Porter is up in the count 2-1. Kelly working out of the stretch with Edwards dancing off second base, who led off this game with a single. Kelly goes with the breaking ball, bounces in the dirt, and Porter is quickly up in the count 3-1.
It's a really good part about Hollis Porter's game. He likes to take a lot of pitches. He does tend to swing at a lot of off-speed, out of the zone, but he has a pretty good eye for a changeup.
The 3-1 on its way from Kelly. Porter skies this one down the third base line and well out of play, which runs the count full here with 1 out in the first inning.
Leads the team in strikeouts, but also leads the team in walks. So both situations in play right here with the full count.
Edwards did take off on the last pitch there. Curious to see if he's on the move again with the count full. The 3-2 on its way from Kelly. That one away for a ball, and Hollis Porter works a 1-out walk.
Hollis sliding back up into that number 3 spot today. Derek Williams not in the lineup tonight for Charlottesville. So with his absence, Hollis slides back into the DH spot and back into the top half of the order. He's been in that 5 and 6 range the past couple weeks with his struggles. Good to see him get on base in his first inning.
Now it's Nathan Fink digging in, as Edwards takes off for third on the first pitch from Kelly. Edwards head first slide in there as he successfully swipes third base.
15th stolen base of the season for Kyle. Also, yesterday, starting in that second game of the doubleheader, which was suspended, he broke the Tom Sox career record in games started.
You mentioned the game being suspended. Nathan Fink picked up his first RBI as he waves through an off-speed pitch from Robert Kelly. His first RBI, scoring Edwards in that first inning. Tom Sox were leading 4-2 when the game was suspended in the 5th inning due to rain. Porter off first base, Edwards on third. Fink lines this one down the first base line and well out of play as Kelly moves ahead of the count 1-2.
And Alex, when we were here back on June the 9th, the Tom Sox put up 5 runs in the top of the first inning. Justin Thomas led off the game with a double in the first pitch, and then a lot of free passes by the Turks pitching staff.
The 1-2 to Fink, once again lined out of play down the first base line.
But if the Tom Sox can get a lot of runs on the board again, something that they haven't been able to do the last couple games, that's going to be a big step moving forward.
You mentioned the Tom Sox struggles offensively. The 1-2 to Fink tries to check his swing, and he does. The appeal went to the field umpire there, and Fink checks his swing, and now the count is even at 2-2. You mentioned the Tom Sox struggles offensively. They were blanked 8-0 as the next pitch on its way from Kelly. Fink once again fouls it off here.
Quick look at the defensive lineup for Harrisonburg. Behind the plate, Matthew Delgado at first base. You have Trent Corrali, second base, Tyler Borges.
The 2-2 pitch from Kelly runs in tight on Fink, and he works the count full here.
Back to the defense, shortstop is Ty Gill. Third baseman Jason Torres, in left field Chris Katz, in center Garrett Bradley, and in right field Micah Morgan.
The full count offering to Fink. This one chopped down the third base line and foul.
Good at bat put together by Nathan Fink.
He's fouled a lot of tough pitches off here, and this is a guy who's been struggling, but he's up in a big spot with runners on the corners and 1 out here in the top of the first. No score yet here at Eagle Field. The full count pitch doesn't clip the corner as Nathan Fink draws a walk, which loads the bases for Garrett Spikes.
That's a really tough pitch to take if you're Nathan Fink. Slider right on the outside corner. He did a great job of fouling off a lot of close pitches in that at bat, so I thought he'd take that same approach, try and drive that baseball foul to the right side, but he saw it right out the hand, knew it was going to be outside. And now the home plate umpire is talking with Harrisonburg manager Bob Weiss.
I think Weiss has questioned the call there, just trying to get an explanation for where that pitch from Kelly missed. Weiss, one of the veteran umpires here in the VBL. Now it's Garrett Spikes with the bases loaded. The first pitch from Kelly misses away. This is Spikes' first appearance against the Turks this campaign. Kelly working out of the windup here. His 1-0 pitch, once again, struggling to command the strike zone, missing away.
Garrett's come up in some big spots for the Tom Sox already this season, and adding on to his success in seasons past.
The 2-0 to Spikes, outside once again, and Spikes quickly up in the count, 3-0.
Spikes still looking for that first walk. Could drive in RBI number 5 with the walk here.
The 3-0 to Spikes. That one misses low in the dirt, and Garrett Spikes gets the Tom Sox on the board with a bases-loaded walk here in the first inning.
That's 3 straight walks for this Harrisonburg pitching staff. And when you look back, about a month ago when these two teams faced off, there was 2 straight walks for Hollis Porter and Connor Hanks, a hit by pitch to David Wiley, then another walk for Josh Tate. So 4 free passes in a row in that middle of the order for the Tom Sox in the top of the first inning. Very similar start to that game about a month ago to tonight's game.
So after 3 straight walks from Robert Kelly, we're going to get a mound visit for the Turks, just talking some strategy over, trying to settle down Robert Kelly out on the mound. Due up for the Tom Sox is Calvin Alexander, and the walks have been an issue for Kelly this season. Walked 10 hitters in 22 innings before tonight. That number has ballooned up to 13.
He just hasn't had his best stuff tonight. You look at the numbers, 3.22 ERA, 21 strikeouts to 10 walks. That already now 21 strikeouts to 13 walks, and already given up an earned run in this game. And if you remember, Alex, when we were here last time, Calvin Alexander crushed a home run to deep left field. I'm sure Lyndon Coleman and company would love to see an encore of that right here to get another 5 spot in the first inning.
That was a big home run for Alexander. It marked him being the all-time Tom Sock leading home run hitter as Kelly pours in a first pitch strike to Alexander. Calvin does have some power, has 2 home runs, 9 RBIs on the season. Kelly going with the breaking ball, can't locate it on the outside corner to the right-handed hitting Calvin Alexander. Kelly working out of the windup here with the bags juiced and just 1 out. The 1-1 pitch runs in tight as Alexander backs out of the way.
Just seems like Kelly can't find the zone with that fastball. Really struggling to find the zone with all of his pitches, but especially that heater.
Kelly working quickly here. The 2-1 pitch goes with the breaking ball here. Gets the call. Now the count is even at 2-2.
Get me over pitch right there. KJ taking all the way, knowing he's going to have to get a strike.
The 2-2 to Alexander. Just misses away. Kelly going with the off-speed pitch, but can't get the call. And now Alexander works the count full. The 3-2 on its way to Alexander. This one chopped up the middle, fielded by the shortstop, Gill. Flip over to the second baseman, Borges in time to double up Alexander on first base. Just like that, Robert Kelly works out of a bases-loaded jam, only giving up 1 run here in the first inning. We head to the bottom of the first with the Tom Sox taking a 1-0 lead. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. Tom Sox have taken an early 1-0 lead here at Eagle Field, and we head to the bottom of the first inning, and getting the start for the Tom Sox, the left-handed starter, Ryan Lynch, making his first start this season, Nathan.
Yeah, Ryan Lynch, when you look at his numbers, you would think he is a starting pitcher for this Tom Sox team. He's made 5 appearances, thrown 14 in the 3rd innings, with Lyndon Cohen only having his starters go about 3 or 4 innings each time. You would assume that all 5 of those appearances were starts, but this will be his first start, and he, in my opinion, has been the best pitcher on this Tom Sox staff as a whole. Over those 14 and 3rd innings, only 3 hits allowed, 4 walks, 21 strikeouts, and more importantly, has not given up a single run.
Well, he will begin his night facing the left-handed hitting shortstop Ty Gill, who watches a first pitch fastball catch the strike zone. Pair of lefties to headman the top of the Turk lineup, Gill and Miles Hartsfield, as Lynch goes with the breaking ball here on the 0-1 pitch, bounces it in the dirt. Gill on the season hitting .300 in 19 games with 5 RBIs. Does have 6 extra base hits. The 1-1 from Lynch misses high for a ball.
Gill was 0 for 2 with a walk in that game back on June 9th here at Eagle Field. Drew a walk as a pinch hitter on the 15th back in Charlottesville.
The 2-1 offering from Lynch skied out of play down the third base line, evening the count at 2-2. Lynch gets the sign from his catcher, Alexander. Deals the 2-2 pitch. This one chopped on the ground to the shortstop. Edwards fields it cleanly, makes a throw over to first base in time for the first out of the inning as one shortstop grounds out to another.
And with that nice defensive play, let's take a look at the Tom Sox defense tonight. KJ Alexander behind home plate. Left to right in the infield, Connor Hinks at third, Kyle Edwards at shortstop, Bryce Martinez at second. Henry Ford making his first start of the season at first base tonight with no Derek Williams and Hollis Porter in the DH spot, and Connor Hinks at third. And the outfield left to right, Garrett Spikes in left, Sergio Rivera in center, and Nathan Fink man's right field.
The first pitch to Miles Hartsfield, lined down the third base line and well out of play. Hartsfield, one of the top hitters in this Harrisonburg lineup, coming into tonight hitting .429 with 4 RBIs.
Goes to Georgia Southwestern State, so a couple Georgia Southwestern players at the dish right now with Calvin Alexander behind home plate and Miles Hartsfield in the box.
The 0-1 from Lynch missed away for a ball. Seen a lot of players from Georgia Southwestern here in the VBL as the 1-1 offering from Lynch misses low and away. Hartsfield quickly up in the count, 2-1.
Also have a lot of Florida Southwestern players. It seemed like half of the Tom Sox starting lineup last night in Game 2 of that doubleheader was from Florida Southwestern.
The 2-1 rocketed down the first base line and fair down the right field line. Fielding it is the right fielder, Nathan Fink. Hartsfield takes a turnaround second. He will reconsider and go back to second base with a loud double with 1 out in the inning.
Third double of the season for Hartsfield. A lot of singles for him. That's what's bumped up that average. He really hasn't been hitting for too much power. Just 5'10", 180 pounds. Very experienced player. Sneaks it past the inexperienced first baseman, Henry Ford. You never know. Maybe the University of Virginia wants him to get some reps at first base as well. But you can tell just a little bit of inexperience right there. Didn't necessarily go all out for that baseball, and he is facing a pretty nasty glare out there right now.
We saw Ford play third base yesterday, getting the start on the other corner here today as Ryan Lynch pours in a first pitch strike to the left-handed hitting right fielder Micah Morgan.
And Morgan's just hit the cover off of the baseball against Charlottesville this season. Hit in Game 1, 2 hits in Games 2 and 3.
Hitting .388 this season. One of the top hitters in this Turk lineup as he chops this one to the second baseman, Bryce Martinez. Fields it near the bag, throws onto Ford at first base in time for the out. Moving up to third base on the play was Hartsfield, but a big second out of the inning for Ryan Lynch.
It's the second time in 3 base Bryce Martinez has made a play like that where it's been a slow chopper up the middle. He's come across the second base bag, thrown across his body off balance to gun a runner at first base. That's just unbelievable defense from Martinez at second base.
Bryce Martinez, one of the most sure-handed defenders on this Charlottesville roster. Now it's the cleanup hitter and the left fielder, Chris Katz, stepping in. Lynch starts him out with a breaking ball. That doesn't break and misses high.
Katz, a junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, attends Wake Forest, only playing in his 3rd game with the Turks. Makes sense considering he was with his team in Omaha.
The 1-0 to Katz. Lined down the first base line and out of play.
Big couple days for college baseball teams and fans all across the country as the first-year MLB player draft is in the middle right now. Round 10 completed about an hour or two ago.
Saw a couple of Tom Sox players get taken as Lynch goes with the breaking ball, freezes Katz there, moves the count to 1-2. Wyatt Langford taken 4th overall by the Texas Rangers. Jack Hurley went today, a couple of guys from the 2021 roster. Lynch's 1-2 offering to Katz, tipped right in the mitt of Alexander for strike 3, and just like that, Ryan Lynch strands Hartsfield on third base as we head to the top of the second with your Charlottesville Tom Sox still leading 1-0. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. It's the third baseman, Connor Hinks, set to lead things off here in inning number 2 from Eagle Field. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Nathan Schwartz. Robert Kelly out for inning number 2 here. Struggled in the first inning, allowing 3 consecutive free passes, which allowed Kyle Edwards to score, who led off the game with a single. The first pitch to Hinks lined right off the mask of the catcher Delgado.
Hinks played in a lot of games with against Harrisonburg this season. 3 for 8 with 2 RBIs against the Turks.
Hinks grounds this one through into right field for a leadoff single. Just like that, back-to-back innings for the Tom Sox with leadoff singles.
Some guys just love hitting at certain ballparks, and that's been the case for Connor Hinks so far. At this ballpark now this season is 4 for 5 with an RBI and a stolen base.
Now it's Henry Ford as Ford lines this one in the left field. Charging in is the left fielder Katz, who puts it away for a loud out number 1.
Correction on that stat for Hinks. That was his performance against the Turks in Charlottesville. In the last game he played here against the Turks, he was 0 for 4, so his first hit at this ballpark this season.
Still, he's having some success against the Turks. Always good numbers. And Hinks leading off first base here for the 9-hole hitter and center fielder, Sergio Rivera. Rivera tries to drop down a bunt, but that goes foul right in front of home plate.
Seems like every at-bat we see from Sergio Rivera now, he's squaring to bunt at some point. And that's because a lot of these Tom Sox hitters are getting on base ahead of him. And with Sergio Rivera's elite bunt ability and his speed, it's pretty consistent that he's going to get a good bunt down and has a really good chance to beat it out.
We mentioned the speed with Rivera, 20 stolen bases, really a threat on the base path, but dropping bunts down has allowed him to get hits, but not dropping a bunt down here as he skies this one into right field. Right there is the right fielder, Micah Morgan, who doesn't have to move too far and puts it away for the second out of the inning.
Inside out swing there for Sergio. Of course, not the biggest power guy, and also got the inside part of the bat. So weak pop out, weak contact, and now back to the top of the order, and Kyle Edwards.
Edwards digging in for at-bat number 2 as Edwards' first pitch swing lines that deep in the left field. Tracking it all the way was the left fielder, Chris Katz, but Robert Kelly allows the leadoff single to Connor Hinks and then records 3 straight flyouts here in the top of the second. We head to the bottom half of the inning with the Tom Sox still leading 1-0. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. It's the 5-hole hitter, Jason Torres, set to lead off the bottom of the second inning for the Harrisonburg Turks, still against Charlottesville starter Ryan Lynch. This is Lynch's first appearance against the Turks this season. As we talked about earlier, Lynch has worked a lot of innings out of the bullpen. As the first pitch to Torres, can't clip the outside corner.
Of course, some pitching changes likely made to the plan for Lyndon Coleman with the suspension of the game yesterday in the 2 7-inning games.
Lynch goes with a breaking ball, fools Torres there as he was well out in front of that off-speed pitch.
For example, we saw Braden Halliday get a start in game 2 of the doubleheader, just so one of the guys wouldn't have to go on a shorter day of rest.
It was Halliday's second start of the season as Lynch goes back to the breaking ball, lined over the head of Edwards at shortstop and into left field for a leadoff single for Jason Torres. Relaying the ball in was Garrett Spikes, and Torres is on to start off the bottom half of the second.
Seems like Ryan's just getting hit a little bit harder tonight than we've seen in previous outings. Already given up a season high in 2 hits allowed. Gave up 2 hits against Waynesboro back on June 14th. And a lot of hard contact for 4 of the first 5 hitters in the Turks lineup.
This one chopped on the ground to Ford at first base. Goes to Edwards at short. In time for the out. His throw back to the bag. Not in time. So Garrett Bradley legs out a fielder's choice. There's 1 out retired in this inning.
Batting 7, first baseman, number 27, Trent Corrali.
Now it's the first baseman, Trent Corrali, up. Corrali played in all 3 games against Charlottesville this season, hitting 1 for 7 in those contests. The first pitch from Lynch, can't locate it on the outside corner as that misses away.
Just a 209 average for Corrali over 19 games this season. 2 extra base hits, 5 RBI. Struck out 23 times.
Lynch working here as hit the next pitch to Corrali, lined into the fence right around first base. Lynch, a pitcher that never works out of the windup, strictly out of the stretch here. Torres takes a lead off first base. The 1-1 offering to Corrali, that one misses high and in tight.
Looks like Jordan Little warming up for the Tom Sox out in the bullpen.
Little, one of the top relievers for Charlottesville this season, along with Lynch. The 2-1 to Corrali, a big swing and a miss there. The count is even at 2-2.
When Lynch has his off-speed working, it's practically unhittable from what we've seen so far. Goes to the changeup there on the 2-1. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to locate a slider here on the 2-2.
The 2-2 to Corrali. Got him looking. Well, Nathan, you called it there. Freezing Corrali for the second out of the inning as Lynch picks up strikeout number 2.
Yeah, front door slider there starting on the right-handed batter's box. Or excuse me, the left-handed batter's box coming in to touch that corner of the plate. He's been hanging that pitch a little too much tonight, and that's how Jason Torres got on a hanging slider that went over the head of Edwards, but great location there for the second out.
Now it's the catcher, Matthew Delgado, as Lynch starts him out with a fastball that is tipped into the mitt of Alexander. Delgado hitting just .085 in 16 games played this year with 4 hits and 47 at-bats. He lines it foul right behind home plate into the protective netting. And just like that, Delgado quickly down 0-2 here against Lynch. The 0-2 on its way from Lynch. Delgado expands the zone and pops this one ahead of over the press box.
Delgado just really hasn't been able to figure it out at the plate this season. Has been pretty good defensively in the games we've seen him play.
Delgado has struck out 23 times in 47 at-bats as he chops this one on the ground to the shortstop, Edwards, who makes the easy flip over to Bryce Martinez in time at second base. And just like that, Ryan Lynch works around the leadoff single to Jason Torres and gets out of the second inning with the Tom Sox still leading 1-0. Stay tuned for more baseball right here on Tom Sox TV. Robert Kelly out for his third inning of work here at Eagle Field. And leading things off for the Sox is Bryce Martinez. Martinez grounded into a fielder's choice in the first inning.
Alex, looking back at Bryce's debut against the Turks this season, was 2 for 4.
Martinez puts a charge into this one. Backtracking is the center fielder Garrett Bradley, who puts it away for a first pitch out for Robert Kelly.
A lot of loud outs for the Tom Sox the past couple innings. Go back to Henry Ford, lined out for the first out in the second. Then Kyle Edwards ends the second inning with a deep fly ball into the left center field gap. And then right there, first pitch swinging for Bryce. Sends that ball probably about 385 feet to straightaway center. But the center fielder Bradley playing pretty deep.
4 straight flyouts for Robert Kelly, and he starts out Hollis Porter with a first pitch strike. Kelly wasting a little time back on the rubber, deals the 0-1 pitch. Porter watching it go right across Main Street for strike number 2. The 0-2 from Kelly, swing and a miss. 3 pitches to Hollis Porter, and he's set down for out number 2 here in the third.
First strikeout tonight for Robert Kelly, his 22nd of the season. 4th against the Tom Sox this season.
Florida Southwestern right fielder Nathan Fink.
Now it's the cleanup hitter Nathan Fink. Kelly goes with the off-speed pitch that runs into the left-handed hitter's batter's box. The 1-0 to Fink, misses in tight.
Another one of these new Florida Southwestern players. Both Fink and Salvi Alvarez announced their commitments to Florida Southwestern within the past couple weeks.
Fink fouls this one down the first base line, well out of play.
We also have the 2 players in Sergio Rivera and Derek Williams who were at Florida Southwestern that are exiting the program.
The 2-1 to Fink, this one grounded right through the hole on the left-hand side and into left field for a 2-out single for Nathan Fink. As he reaches for the second time tonight.
Unofficially his 6th hit of the season. If the second game from yesterday goes final, he will have another hit in there. But for now, his 6th hit of the season.
Fink picked up an RBI single, as you were mentioning yesterday, which was the first of 4 Tom Sock runs in a suspended game. Now it's Garrett Spikes, who watches a breaking ball miss low. Count is even at 1-1.
Still unclear whether that game will be finished and played the full 7 innings, or if there will be a reset back to the end of the 4th inning, or if there will be the rest of that 5th inning played.
Charlottesville in that game was down 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th and scored 3 runs, but it was called in that inning with Derek Williams up with no outs in the bases loaded as the rain was really coming down as Spikes strikes out swing on the off-speed pitch from Robert Kelly, his 2nd strikeout of the inning, and just like that, he strands Fink on first base, and the Tom Sox still lead 1-0 here at Eagle Field. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. hitter Tyler Borges set to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Ryan Lynch has allowed 2 hits through 2 innings. Struck out 1 in his first start in a Tom Sock uniform. His 6th appearance as Lynch starts Borges out with a pitch that misses inside.
Borges 0 for 4 against the Tom Socks this season with a walk and a strikeout. Was also hit by a pitch in the first game between these two teams.
Next pitch from Lynch misses low to Borges as he's quickly up in the count 2-0. Borges struggling so far this season through 20 games, hitting just 194 with 1 extra base hit and 2 RBIs. He puts a charge into this one, but playing him perfectly is the left fielder Garrett Spikes, who just has to move over 2 feet and puts it away for out number 1.
Ryan Lynch really starting to settle in a lot better after that rough first half of the lineup for the Turks he faced after the single he gave up to Jason Torres. He had the fielder's choice, the strikeout, and then the other ground ball that was ruled the fielder's choice, and then a weak fly ball there for Borges. But now the top of the lineup coming back up, the leadoff man, Ty Gill.
See lefty Ty Gill digging in, facing the lefty in Lynch. He begins the at-bat with a first pitch fastball right down the heart of the plate. Gill attends Purdue University.
Another Big Ten program.
The 0-1 to Gill. Breaking ball, can't clip the inside corner. Me and you know a thing or two about the Big Ten.
Little bit. A lot of crazy stuff coming out about the Big Ten recently.
The 1-1 to Gill. This one flied right back into left field. Spikes has to backtrack just a couple of steps, but puts it away for out number 2.
Rather not about the Big Ten, but teams within the Big Ten. Of course, Northwestern football, a big story coming about them recently. They actually just fired their head football coach, Pat Fitzgerald, a couple moments ago due to all of the recent news to come out about the inner workings of that program.
It's been a tough time for the Big Ten and especially Northwestern. A lot of allegations coming out, football, baseball programs, but luckily nothing for Maryland, Penn State, and Purdue for me, you, and our friend Ty Gill. As Ryan Lynch starts out Miles Hartsfield out with a first pitch strike. Hartsfield had the first hit of this ball game, lining a double, but was stranded on third base as he goes fishing on a 0-1 fastball from Lynch, quickly down on the count 0-2 here.
Average now up over 430 on the season. That was his 36th at-bat back in that first inning. 16 hits in those 36 at-bats.
Lynch working out of the stretch here. The 0-2 pitch misses high and outside, moving the count to 1-2. His 4th extra base hit, his 3rd double, does have a triple. 4 RBIs as well for Hartsfield. Lynch gets a sign from his catcher, Alexander, deals the 1-2 pitch, and got him swinging there. It was a check swing from Hartsfield, did a little dance out at home plate. It was a pitch on the outside corner from Lynch, but appeals down to the infield umpire and gets the strike 3 call is Ryan Lynch. So he works a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the 3rd as we head to the top of the 4th with the Tom Sox still leading 1-0. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV.
the Southwestern play catcher,
The Tom Sox still lead 1-0 here at the start of the 4th inning. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by my broadcast partner, Nathan Schwartz. Tom Sox scored the first run and only run of the ball game back in the 1st inning as the first pitch from Robert Kelly, a breaking ball in there for strike 1. It was Kyle Edwards who led off the ball game with a single. And 3 straight walks from Robert Kelly in that inning allowed the Tom Sox to push across their lone run so far. The 1-1 on the way from Kelly misses outside on a breaking ball to the right-handed hitting catcher in KJ Alexander.
1 hit in each inning for Charlottesville so far, and Kelly settled in really nicely, retiring 6 of the last 7 he's faced.
Alexander grounds this one out to the shortstop Ty Gill, who retires him out for the first out of the inning.
Made that 2 ground outs to the shortstop Ty Gill for Alexander tonight. He grounded into a 6-4-3 to end the first, and then leads off the 4th with a 6-3 put out.
Now it's the left-handed hitting third baseman Connor Hinks stepping into the box. He's 1 for 1. Hinks, first pitch swinging, flares this one out into center field. In there for a base hit. The center fielder Garrett Bradley not really charging that ball, lets it fall in, takes a high bounce off the turf, but Connor Hinks will take it as he is 2 for 2 on the night.
And good to see Connor get back into a groove. He had a rough stretch in the middle of the season where he just was not producing at the plate, but he's starting to get a lot more consistent at the plate. 2 hits tonight.
Now it's Henry Ford who watches a first pitch fastball in there for strike number 1. Ford, another one of those guys that you mentioned, Hinks struggling in the middle part of the season. Ford missed a lot of time with an injury as he fouls off the next offering from Kelly. But he missed time just about 3 weeks with a broken thumb, and he's really struggled coming back off of that injury. Just 1 hit since as he waves through a 0-2 fastball, and just like that, he's set down for the 2nd out of the inning.
Really quick at bat there for Ford, but Robert Kelly
Buccaneers
punching that fastball in there. We talked about back in the 1st inning where he really couldn't locate his fastball or any of his off-speed pitches, but ever since that double play to end the 1st inning, he's been lights out.
That was the 3rd strikeout of the night from Kelly. Now it's the 9-hole hitter Sergio Rivera. First pitch swing is him as he comes up with nothing but air on the fastball from Kelly. Rivera flew out to Micah Morgan out in right field for the 2nd out of the 2nd inning. The 0-1 to Rivera once again waves through a fastball from Kelly. And he's 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Hinks on first base after a 1-out single. He takes his lead. The 0-2 on the way to Rivera. He fouls this one off above the press box and out of play.
Sergio, 3 RBI against Harrisonburg this season. That's tied for the most RBI he has against a single team in the VBL. He also has 3 RBI against Covington.
Kelly with a pickoff move to keep Hinks honest over there at first base. Hinks does have 4 stolen bases on the season. He's taking off on the 0-2 pitch as Rivera pops this one on the infield. Tracking it is the second baseman Tyler Borges, who just drops that pop-up. He ran a long way, covering the bag on the steal attempt of Hinks, running all the way to the fence, down the first base line, going into a slide, had the ball in his glove, but it just pops out at the last minute. So Rivera gets another attempt here with the count at 0-2, and Hinks retreats back to first base.
A really near impossible play that he almost made was ranging to his right, as you said, runs all the way to the edge of the wall along foul territory, slides, has the ball in his glove, but I think that slide and the change in the glare as well, and frankly just being so close to the wall caused a little bit of jitters, and the ball just couldn't get squeezed.
The 0-2 once again to Rivera. Got him looking. Robert Kelly with the off-speed pitch gets Rivera looking for the 3rd out of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Robert Kelly as we head to the bottom half of the 4th with the Tom Sox still leading 1-0. Stay tuned for more baseball right here on Tom Sox TV. Micah Morgan leading things off here in the 4th inning for the Harrisonburg Turks. Ryan Lynch still out on the bump for the Tom Sox. Lynch has allowed just 2 hits so far. This one line straight up the middle, glove down by Lynch. Tosses it over with the flip to Henry Ford. First pitch swing was Morgan, and he is set down for out number 1.
And Lennon Coleman's going to go out and check on Ryan Lynch. Took that ball hard off the body, but Lynch says he's good, ready to go back out there, and we'll see how long he goes in this game. We had Jordan Little warming up in that 2nd inning, but since the bullpen's gone radio silent, nobody even stretching out there, and who knows, maybe Ryan Lynch could go past the 4th inning in this one.
Lynch worked 4 innings in his last outing. Didn't allow a hit in those 4 innings, struck out 8 as he starts out the cleanup hitter, Chris Katz, with a first pitch breaking ball in there for strike number 1.
You look at the amount of innings Lynch has gone in his 5 appearances. He went 3 in his first outing, 3 2/3 in his second outing. Only went an inning in that 3rd outing against Strasburg as the 0-1's outside for ball 1. But that was a game after that stretch of rain delays 5 in a row where Lennon Coleman just gave every pitcher 1 inning. And then his 4th appearance went 2 2/3, and then you just mentioned, Alex, 4 innings against Covington on July the 5th.
Lynch now up in the count 1-2 against Katz. Back-to-back breaking balls. The second one in there for strike number 2. Katz struck out to end the 1st inning. Looking to avoid his second punch out here. The 1-2 pitch got him again. Ryan Lynch goes with the breaking ball, gets Chris Katz fishing for the 2nd out of the inning.
Now, Lynch is through 18 innings this season. 5 hits allowed, still no runs, only 4 walks, now 25 strikeouts. And he's 3-0 on the season. That double he gave up in the 1st inning was the first extra base hit that he's allowed this season. And he's got to be the most dominant pitcher in the VBL, and maybe not even just the VBL, across multiple summer leagues and all of collegiate summer baseball. Ryan Lynch has got to be up there with some of the best stuff this summer.
He's retired 7 straight here, and 2 back-to-back strikes against Jason Torres has him up in the count 0-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Torres 1 for 1, single to lead off the 2nd inning. Looking to continue the inning here in the bottom of the 4th. The 0-2 from Lynch, swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan Lynch as he set down the last 8 Turks hitters, and the Tom Sox lead 1-0 heading to the top of the 5th. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. The 1-2-3 hitters set to lead things off for the Tom Sox here in the top of the 5th. I'm Alex ROCCO, joined alongside by Nathan Schwartz. Ryan Lynch, 4 shutout innings so far here at Eagle Field in Harrisonburg. Now it's Robert Kelly out for his 5th inning of work. Starts off the leadoff hitter, Kyle Edwards, with a first pitch breaking ball that can't find the strike zone. Kelly working quickly here, his 1-0. In there for strike number 1, evening the count at 1-1.
He's working into the 5th inning for just the 3rd time this season and the first time since June the 24th at Waynesboro.
Kelly gets Edwards to expand his zone there. Now the 1-2 to Edwards. got him looking on the outside corner. Edwards disagrees with the call, but he's set down for out number 1 and the third straight strikeout for Robert Kelly out on the bump.
And these pitchers are just trading out after out after out. It seems like there just hasn't been a hit in forever. Connor Hinks had a single in the 4th inning, but then 6 straight retired between the Tom Sox and the Turks.
Bryce Martinez fouls a pitch off right behind home plate. Charlottesville with 4 hits through 4 1/3 innings. The Turks just with 2. Kelly working out of the windup. His 0-1 pitch chopped on the ground to the shortstop, Ty Gill. His throw in time to retire Bryce Martinez for the second out of the inning.
Well, if you like offense and you're not satisfied with what you're getting here, the Home Run Derby has also just started on ESPN, so you can dual screen or listen to us and then also watch the Home Run Derby as well. Randy Arozarena going against Adolis Garcia right now.
Kelly starts off the 3-hole hitter Hollis Porter with a first pitch strike. Porter 0 for 1, reached on a walk in the first inning as he watches the next pitch miss for a ball. Porter struck out in the 3rd inning as he waves through a breaking ball there from Kelly as Porter down on the count 1-2 here. Kelly gets a sign already on the mound. Porter was out of the batter's box. Now steps in the 1-2 offering to him. This one grounded down the first base line, but foul. Corrali gave it an effort, but couldn't glove it as it rolls down the first base line, but still foul.
Shaping up to be one of the better starts of the season for Kelly. Started all 5 games he's appeared in, this being his 6th start of the season.
Nice bounce back effort from Kelly after allowing 4 runs against Charlottesville in his last outing as he spikes a pitch in the dirt to Porter. 2-2 is a count. In the last start for Kelly against the Tom Sox, went 4 innings, allowed 4 runs, 6 hits, and struck out 3 as Porter fouls this one down the third base line and well out of play. The 2-2 offering to Porter. This one lined to straightaway center. Backtracking is the center fielder, Garrett Bradley, who puts it away for the 3rd out of the inning. Just like that, Robert Kelly goes 1-2-3 through the Tom Sox first 3 hitters in their lineup. And with that, I will pass over play-by-play to my broadcast partner, Nathan Schwartz, after this quick break as the Tom Sox still lead 1-0. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV.
Time for the bottom of the 5th inning here at Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park on the home of James Madison University. Nathan Schwartz, Alex Rocco with you here for the 4th and final meeting this regular season between the Charlottesville Tom Sox and the Harrisonburg Turks. Tom Sox lead the Turks 1-0. 1 run on 4 hits, no errors for the Tom Sox, no runs on 2 hits, and no errors for Harrisonburg as Ryan Lynch back out for his 5th inning of work and starts it with a strike to Garrett Bradley, the center fielder.
Lynch has been extremely impressive in this game, making his first start.
First start, and now will be the longest appearance of the season for Ryan Lynch if he's able to record 1 out. His longest appearance, as we've mentioned, came last week against Covington when he went 4 innings, did not give up a hit walked 2 and struck out 8 batters. So far tonight through 4 innings, he's given up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. So trading those 2 walks in the last start for 2 hits tonight. 1-2 to Bradley, an excuse me, check swing foul ball to the left side in front of the Harrisonburg dugout, and the count remains 1-2.
That pitch was right in on the hands of Bradley, trying to get out of the way, but fouls right off the bat, and 1-2 count once again.
Bradley in the number 6 spot tonight for Harrisonburg is the 1-2 breaking ball, never drops into the zone, and it evens the count at 2. 50-50 raffle being distributed here at the campus of JMU. 8 in a row retired for Ryan Lynch. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Curveball swung on and missed by Garrett Bradley for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th.
3 straight strikeouts for Ryan Lynch. He has all of his pitches working, has command of the fastball, and that breaking ball, just a thing of beauty. The amount of movement that it has tonight, it's really been the best he has looked all season. And that's saying something for how well he has pitched so far on the season.
First pitch to Trent Corrali, high chopping ground ball to third base. Connor Hanks makes the easy routine play for out number 2. And we are just flying through this baseball game right now. We're about to hit the hour mark in this game, and we're already 2 outs into the bottom of the 5th inning.
Everyone talks about the pitch clock limiting baseball times and how long a game is. You just need an old-fashioned pitcher's duel here. Robert Kelly and Ryan Lynch blanking these lineups here, and this game is absolutely flying by.
And no reason to take either starter out of the game at this point with the way they've been pitching. First pitch curveball into Matthew Delgado is a strike. Delgado, the backstop for Harrisonburg, grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up to end the 2nd. Hitting sub 100 overall, and he takes another looping breaking ball on the outside corner, and Lynch another strike away from his 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Lynch comes to the set, the 0-2, grounded foul to the third base side. Bob Weiss will field it with the batting helmet and toss it right back into the dugout. If you include the fielder's choice by Bradley back in the 2nd, make it now 10 in a row retired. Make that 11 as there's a line drive into right. Nathan Fink slides and makes the catch. Make that 12 Turks retired in a row for Ryan Lynch, showing no signs of fatigue. We head to the top of the 6th here in Harrisonburg with the Tom Sox on top, 1-0. Pitchers duel brewing here in Harrisonburg. 4th and final matchup of this regular season between the Tom Sox and the Turks. Nathan Schwartz, Alex ROCCO with you here from the campus of James Madison University, home of the Dukes. A lot of players in the VBL play their spring ball here at JMU, and also teams in surrounding the Central Virginia area will play midweek games or weekend series here as Nathan Fink on the 2nd pitch of the 6th grounds into a 6-3 putout for the first out.
Fink hit that ball hard there, but a nice stop by Ty Gill over there at shortstop. But just once again, Robert Kelly wasting a little time, getting the ball back from his catcher, Matthew Delgado, and just consistently pouring in strikes.
Finks hit the ball hard a couple times tonight as Garrett Spikes will lunge at the first delivery and push it foul along the left side. Spikes so far tonight drove in the lone run in the game with a walk back in the first and then struck out swinging in the third. The 0-1 from Kelly. Hard grounder to the right side. Trey Smith can't quite come up with it. Former outfielder for Greenville State. 0-2, swung on and missed by Spikes, his second strikeout tonight. The 6th overall for Robert Kelly, and again, showing no signs of coming out of this game anytime soon.
Kelly made Garrett Spikes look silly on that last breaking ball. Changing speeds, making him off balance there, and just masterful pitching from Robert Kelly. It's unfortunate that he had to give up the run in the first inning. These two pitchers matching each other pitch for pitch.
And it seems to be strike for strike as KJ Alexander takes the first pitch fastball for strike one. And there is a deep drive high into left center field, sending Bradley all the way back to the track. He dives, and it's out of his glove and onto the warning track. Alexander will round second, take a hard stop, and get back into the bag. It's a 2-out booming double for KJ Alexander, and finally the Tom Sox have a runner back in scoring position.
That ball was smoked off the bat, and what an effort by Bradley out in center field. Had to run a long way into that left center field gap, goes full extension on the dive, but couldn't come up with a Sports Center top 10 catch. But Alexander and the Tom Sox will take it as Alexander standing in scoring position with 2 outs in the inning.
I thought off the bat that KJ had hit his second home run of the season at this ballpark. The first one he hit was straightaway left field. That one would have been way deep into left center. This is more the size of a traditional major league park with 400 to straightaway center, 320 down the lines. As the first pitch to Connor Hinks is an off-speed outside for a ball. So Alexander, the runner at second, the first runner in scoring position for the Tom Sox since Nathan Fink back in the first inning. And the second pitch to Hinks down low for a ball, 2-0 the count.
That's Alexander's 9th hit of the season and his 5th extra base hit. Talk about power. Alexander is bringing it. His 3rd double also has 2 home runs.
It was the 5th hit of the night for Charlottesville. 2-0 to Connor, slider catching the middle of the zone for strike number 1. Tom Sox have had a hit now in 5 of the 6 innings tonight. The lone inning not having a hit in that 5th inning. 2-1 slider, same spot, same call. Strike 2 on that one in the count. 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner on second. Kelly comes to a set looking to get out of the jam. The 2-2. Swung on and missed by Hinks. Kelly puts out a scream. His 7th strikeout tonight. And the Tom Sox strand another runner in scoring position. Thought Charlottesville might have something to give there in the 6th, but nothing more as the score remains. Tom Sox 1, Turks 0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th here on Tom Sox TV. We finally have our first pitching change of the night, a rarity to see this late in a ball game in college summer baseball. As Ryan Lynch's night is done, he goes 5 innings, gives up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. A heck of a performance for him considering it's his first start of the season, his longest outing of the season. But now Lyndon Coleman will turn to Hayden Smith, who, Alex, as you mentioned to me during the break, hasn't thrown in 2 weeks.
Last time Smith appeared was back on June 27th in a game against Newmarket. Went 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, and struck out 3 hitters. It's his 5th appearance on the season.
And the first pitch he throws, fastball down low to Tyler Borges for ball 1. Hayden did throw his first appearance of the season against the Turks. As the second pitch of the at-bat in there to even the count at 1. It was his lone decision on the season. He picked up the loss when he gave up 2 runs over 2 innings. Walked 2 and struck out 2, and a minor delay as KJ Alexander will go out and talk with Hayden Smith. Probably a miscommunication with the signs.
Yeah, just talking things over, getting back on the same page. These guys haven't worked together in a long time, so just getting right, getting on the same page. Can't afford to have any mistakes, especially in a game this close with the Tom Sox still leading by a run.
Smith overall this season, this will be his 5th appearance. He's gone 8 innings, giving up 5 earned runs on 8 hits. He's walked 5, struck out 7. ERA sitting at a 5.63 right now. The rising sophomore at the University of Kentucky. 1-1 from Hayden, another fastball just missing the bottom of the zone. So the count moves to 2-1. Hayden did not play this year with the Wildcats. And coming out of high school was a top 500 player nationally and was the 5th best player in Kentucky, according to Perfect Game. 2-1 fastball, that catches the outside corner for strike 2. So 4 heaters, 2 balls, 2 strikes to begin this outing for Hayden Smith.
Looks like he has command of the fastball early. Has yet to see him go with the breaking ball. Curious to see if that's what he goes with here with 2 strikes.
Out of the windup, 2-2 from Smith, goes right back to the heater, goes back to the outside corner, but just misses off the edge of the plate. And so a full count to begin the outing for Hayden.
This is a big batter here. Tyler Borges, the 9-hitter, can't afford to put any runners on base, especially for the top of this Turks lineup.
3-2 delivery. Fastball grounded to Kyle Edwards at short. He rounds the baseball, throws to first. Strong arm for out number 1. Kyle's had his struggles defensively on throwing errors this season, but one of the smoother gloves you will see in the Valley Baseball League.
He makes every ground ball look so effortless, and he really covers a lot of ground over there at shortstop. Mentioned some of the throwing errors that he has, but he keeps a lot of balls in the infield, and Tom Sox are lucky to have him for back-to-back seasons.
Back to the top of the lineup, and Ty Gill, who will face Smith for the first time tonight, takes the fastball up and in for ball 1. Gill tonight grounded out to Edwards to lead off the Turks' efforts offensively, and then flew out for the second out in the 3rd inning. Tom Sox playing everybody pretty much straight up tonight as the second pitch veers outside. The count moves 2-0. One thing I have noticed, Sergio Rivera playing the shallowest of any outfielder, both Spikes and Fink playing relatively closer to the fence than Rivera in center. Another fastball up and in on the 2-0 delivery, so 2 3-ball counts consecutively for Hayden Smith.
That was something we really didn't see from Ryan Lynch. Had great command of all of his pitches and worked fast and poured in a lot of strikes.
3-0 get me over fastball as I look to my right. The TV in the press box is my Baltimore Orioles starting catcher Adley Rutschman, currently hitting in the home run derby, facing off against Luis Robert in the first round. As there's a 3-1 fastball line foul sharply to the left side. So another full count upcoming for Smith as Rutschman demolishes a fastball into right field. A little dual play-by-play action here going on between the Tom Sox, the Turks, and the home run derby. Another payoff from Smith, and this time he puts a runner on. Got the ground out on the payoff to Borges, but on the payoff to Ty Gill, he gets on base for the first time tonight.
Going back to the home run derby quickly, a tie between the home run derby and the Tom Sox. Tom Sox have a home run derby champion in with themselves in Derek Williams. Williams getting the night off here, but he put on an impressive show back out at Front Royal a couple of weeks ago, launching 20 home runs in total.
And he's just been mashing the baseball lately. 2 home runs on Saturday at Strasburg. The short fences there, but nonetheless, those would have been out at any ballpark, even Cho Airport Field, one of the deeper left center fences in the VBL. Probably gets out here as well. 1-0 the count to begin the at-bat for Miles Hartsfield, and there's a check over to Gill at first base. Gill's stolen base numbers on the season, he's got 3 of them. None against the Tom Sox. The 3rd time Gill's reached base against Charlottesville this year. All 3 have come via the walk. Second check over to Gill. Some more stretching going on in the Tom Sox bullpen. Don't know how long the leash will be tonight on Smith. 1-0. Swing and a chased fastball for Hartsfield. Count evens at 1. Hartsfield, could tell he's a little anxious right there after the 2 pickoffs. Just wanted to swing the bat. Saw a fastball and committed. 1-1 the count. 1-0 Tom Sox here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Squares to bunt, doesn't get the bat head back in time. So that is a swinging strike for Hartsfield to put the count at 1-2.
Hinks playing deep over there at third base, so tried to catch him sleeping. Hartsfield doubled in the 1st inning, was stranded at third base.
1-2 from Smith. Slider in the dirt for strike 3. Hartsfield chases the 2nd pitch in the at-bat, and he goes down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight.
On lefty matchup there, getting Hartsfield to expand his zone, going with the breaking ball. And a nice job by Lyndon Coleman, noticing that the top of this Harrisonburg lineup filled with lefties. Lynch nearing his pitch count, and he worked 5 innings, threw a lot of pitches. So Coleman going back to a lefty, facing the lefties in Gill, Hartsfield, and Morgan now.
Number 3 hitter Micah Morgan, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Just looking back, Adley Rutschman finishes his first round with 28 home runs after his originally 3 minutes of slotted time. Since he's a switch hitter, he switched over to the right side for the extra bonus time and then decided to hit 7 more home runs from the right side. As there's a ground ball foul in the 0-1 to put the count at 0-2. I mean, 21 home runs from the left side, takes a break, and then hits 7 from the right side.
It's impressive numbers for Adley Rutschman. I know that you care a lot more about this matchup between Rutschman and Robert than I do, but impressive showings from the Baltimore Orioles catcher.
Home run derby, always one of the most fascinating events of any pro sport, and their all-star festivities, as there's a foul ball for Morgan on the 0-2 to keep that count the same. Morgan still looking for his first hit tonight. He's gotten a hit in each of the previous 3 games against the Tom Sox this season. Overall, he's 5 for 14. Averaged just under 400 on the season. There goes Gill, and there's a foul ball over our heads. 2nd consecutive foul ball, and the count remains 0-2 with Smith on the mound.
Morgan's a tough guy to get out. Came into tonight hitting .388, a rare hitless night for him so far, but he really doesn't strike out often. Has 9 strikeouts and 98 at-bats, has worked 8 walks, been drilled by 2 pitches, so a very disciplined hitter at the dish.
Smith comes to a set 0-2, breaking ball hit hard to Henry Ford. Doesn't even have to take a step to step on the first base bag for out number 3. Hayden Smith works out of a 1-out walk and retires the other 3 Turks to head to the top of the 7th here in Harrisonburg. Score remains Tom Sox 1, Turks 0. We'll be back with the 7th right after this.
We'll play again tomorrow as the Turks entertain.
Luis Robert giving me a little bit of a scare in the Derby. He's already at 13 home runs halfway through his regularly scheduled 3 minutes of mashing baseballs, and he's definitely going to get the bonus time as well. So shaping up to be a great first-round matchup between Rutschman and Robert in Seattle. But here in Harrisonburg, Henry Ford starts off the 7th with a line drive into left center field. He's going to race towards second. The throw in from Bradley is not going to be in time. Henry Ford with a leadoff double, second double in as many innings for Charlottesville tonight.
Henry Ford desperately needed that double, had really been struggling at the plate, had just one hit coming back from his broken thumb that he suffered earlier this season, really in a big funk at the dish, but showing off the power there and showing off the wheels. It looked like it was just going to be a simple single into left center field, but Ford being aggressive on the base paths and moves up an extra 90 feet.
Very clearly a bunt situation here for Rivera. He squares, gets it down. Ford will head to third. The throw from Kelly is in time to nab Rivera at first base, but it'll go down as a sacrifice and move Ford over to third with just one out.
Who said pitchers aren't athletic? That's a sneaky athletic play there from Robert Kelly, fielding his own position. The bunt was laid down the third base line. Rivera has a lot of speed, but Kelly getting off the mound, making the play, and the strong throw over to Corrali at first base.
Infield comes in for Kyle Edwards. He pops one up into right field. Ford with some speed on third. Morgan makes the catch, but not deep enough to score Ford. And Kyle Edwards stares in disbelief, getting under that baseball. And after the leadoff double, 2 quick outs for Kelly.
Tom Sock's first pitch swing there was Edwards. Didn't really get all of it there. Skied it into right field. Ford faked going home.
Second baseman, Bryce
Morgan was
Martinez.
definitely coming home anyway. Ford was just trying to see if it distracted him a little bit, made the throw up the line or got past the catcher in Delgado, but Ford still just 90 feet away.
Kelly, his longest outing of the season tonight. He went 6 innings
Please
against
continue
Strasburg
to
on July
reserve
1st, which was his last start and out tonight. He's through 6 2/3 innings, still only giving up that 1 run on 6 hits. Most hits he's given up in a start this season. 0-1 fastball to Martinez, up and in to even the count at 1. Bryce tonight is 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a flyout. It seems like Bryce is either 2 or 3 for 5 or 0 for 5. No in between for him as he grounds one softly to the shortstop Gill. Long throw to first. Martinez can't beat it out, and Kelly gets through another inning. 6 straight scoreless innings for Robert Kelly after giving up the RBI walk to Garrett Spikes in the first. And the score remains Tom Sox 1, Turks 0 as we head to the 7th inning stretch here at Eagle Field. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 7th right after this on Tom Sox TV. We begin the bottom of the 7th here in Harrisonburg, and I'm just in disbelief. Adley Rutschman puts up 27 home runs in the first round and gets beaten by Luis Robert, who hits 28. Man, what a performance by Rutschman, but just not enough to get past the first round. And Luis Robert already an early sneaky pick to win it all. Mookie Betts about a hit Same as Vladimir Guerrero Jr., looking for his second crown. First pitch of the inning to Chris Katz is outside for ball one. Hayden Smith still on the mound for the Tom Sox.
Smith looked good coming in of relief of Ryan Lynch back in that 6th inning. Did allow a walk to Ty Gill, but battled back and retired Hartsfield and Morgan.
Soft fly ball to the right side. It's out of play for Fink. And the count moves to 1-1. Robert Kelly threw 7 innings tonight for the Turks. Ryan Lynch goes 5 innings, gives up 2 hits on no runs. Or no runs on 2 hits, rather. 6 strikeouts. Smith now out for inning number 2. He allowed 1 base runner in the 6th as there's a swing and a miss on the 1-1 changeup to put the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes to the cleanup man, who's 0 for 2 tonight with 2 punch-outs. Now the windup is Smith 1-2, breaking ball. Almost got him looking, but outside is the pitch and the count evens.
We saw that pitch called a strike a couple of times, but Smith couldn't get the call on the outside corner. Nice breaking ball, had a lot of movement.
Katz playing in just his 3rd game of the season. And there's a line drive into center field for a base hit. He was 3 for 8 coming in, and now he's 1 for 3 tonight. Extending his hitting streak to 3 games in his early goings in the VBL, and a leadoff base runner for Harrisonburg for just the 2nd time tonight.
That's exactly what Harrisonburg needed. Get base runners on, and especially in this middle part of your lineup, your 4, 5, 6 hitters, anytime you get some runners on base, keep the lineup moving, and in a 1-run game, put some pressure on the Tom Sox pitching staff and defense.
It's just the 3rd hit of the night as Jason Torres squares the bunt, pops it foul. KJ Alexander tried to catch it in the air. The 3 hits tonight for Harrisonburg, a 1-out double in the bottom of the 1st for Miles Hartsfield. Torres led off the 2nd with a single, and that was the 1st hit for Harrisonburg since that single for Torres in the 2nd inning. So they went the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th without getting a hit. And now Torres probably squares to bunt again. He does, but then first a check over to Katz at first base, who's yet to steal a base. Once again, this just being his 3rd game. The rising junior at Wake Forest, making his first appearance against the Tom Sox this year. Now 4 for 11 on the season. Back to Torres. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He does get this one down along the first base side. Tough play for Smith. He's going to tag out Torres, and it's going to go down as a sacrifice. So back-to-back innings with a sacrifice bunt. Sergio Rivera does it in the top half of the inning. And now Torres does it in the bottom half, putting a runner on second with 1 out for the pinch hitter in Sean Barnett. We've seen Barnett a couple of times this season. This will be his 4th appearance against the Tom Sox. He was in the starting lineup in the other 3 games, but just went 1 for 10 in those 3 games. He did have an RBI single in the game here in Harrisonburg a month ago. First pitch from Smith inside nearly hits Barnett, but instead they count 1-0.
Interesting move there by Bob Weiss, pulling the lefty in Garrett Bradley, going to the righty in Sean Barnett. Barnett, a guy that isn't hitting for a lot of average at just 182, but does have some pop out of his right-handed bat.
The rising junior from Wingate swings at the 1-0 delivery and fouls it in front of the light post along the right side to even the count at 1. Barnett so far this season, as Alex mentioned, 182 average, 10 hits, 2 homers, 10 RBI, 3 walks, and 11 strikeouts. 6 extra base hits overall, 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers. Has an RBI chance here with Katz on second. 1-1 from number 11 is grounded on a 1-hop to Hinks at third. Long throw to first, right to the glove of Henry Ford, and a big second out for Hayden Smith.
That ball was blistered off the bat of Barnett there, but Connor Hinks fielding his position well over there at the hot corner, and that's something that we feel like we say almost every single game about Connor Hinks, no matter where Lyndon Coleman puts him, whether it's at first base, second base, over there at the hot corner. He plays excellent defense and once again fielding his position well, getting the second out of the inning.
So far, the most versatile player for this Tom Sox team. We've seen a couple players in multiple spots, but Hinks definitely has played the most positions out of anybody on the team, as the first pitch to Trent Corrali, breaking ball in there for strike one. Hinks has played left field, third base, second base, and first base for this Tom Sox team. Potentially might get a chance to see him play shortstop next week, as the second pitch swung on and missed by Corrali for strike two, and Smith a pitch away from getting out of the inning.
Smith doing a really good job, despite giving up the hit to Katz with a runner in scoring position. Got the out of Bradley, now is just one strike away from getting out of this pickle.
Chris Katz led off the inning with a single. He's at second. 0-2 the count, 2 away, 1-0 Tom Sox lead here in the bottom of the seventh. Smith to Corrali, the pitch, fastball up and out for a ball. Good chase pitch there thrown by Smith with the high heat.
We've seen Smith mix up the off-speed pitch in the dirt, and now going back to the fastball, really changing the eye levels of Corrali.
So we'll do it again. 1-2 now the count. Smith's delivery. Breaking ball, foul tipped and not into the mitt of Alexander. Thought he had it for a moment. The count remains 1-2.
It was close for Alexander holding on to that foul tip, but Corrali lives to see another pitch.
Thought we might have seen another pinch hitter here for Corrali, considering his struggles tonight and his struggles this season against the Tom Sox and season overall. Another 1-2 delivery nearly hits Corrali. Alexander keeps it in front. Now the count evens at 2.
Not sure how that pitch didn't hit Corrali there. It was right in near his ankles there, but pitch just dances around him, and count is even at 2-2.
Katz remains the runner at second base. Base hit would tie the game at 1. 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball gets past Alexander, and it's going to go down as a passed ball. The count goes from 0-2 to full. And Hayden Smith in danger of losing Corrali.
It looked like Alexander just took his eye off of that ball there. Couldn't glove it in all the way. Ball scoots past him, and Katz moving up 90 feet.
The Turks have a runner at third base for just the second time tonight. First time came back in the first when Miles Hartsfield reached third base, but was stranded there. Katz now at third. Full count delivery, the payoff pitch. Grounded to Martinez at second. He will make the easy throw to Henry Ford at first, and Hayden Smith gets out of the jam. Runner on third, 2 outs, needed to make a pitch. He makes it. Score remains Tom Sox 1, Turks 2 as we head to the top of the 8th here on Tom Sox TV.
Tom Sox have finally worked Robert Kelly, the starting pitcher for the Turks, out of the game, just frankly, Alex, due to pitch count.
He was excellent in this contest, and by far his best start of the year, going 7 innings, allowing just 1 run, which came back in the first inning after a Garrett Spikes RBI walk. 6 hits, 3 walks, all of that came in the first inning, and 7 Ks. Really doing a nice job, giving Bob Weiss and his staff a lot of length.
His longest start of the season, his 3 longest starts have come in his last 3 starts, so he's getting better as the season progresses for Harrisonburg. In the midst of a playoff push, as the first pitch to Hollis Porter is in there for strike 1. Heiner, the new arm, a rising senior at Marshall, Huntington, West Virginia native. 3.50 ERA on the season. And he blows a fastball up in the zone past Hollis Porter for strike 2.
That's what you're going to get from Heiner, a lot of velocity, 27 strikeouts in 18 innings, but with a lot of velocity comes some command issues, 13 walks in his 9 appearances.
He's 0-1 with a save this season. As the 0-2 to Porter, line foul. Right now, if the score holds, Ryan Lynch would get the win, and Robert Kelly would get the loss just due to that rough stretch in the first inning where he walked 3 consecutive batters that drove in a run.
And it really didn't look like Kelly was going to have a great start, but he worked a double play to Alexander and settled in after that.
Porter takes the 0-2 delivery downstairs, and the count moves to 1-2. It's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Mookie Betts going head-to-head in the first round of the home run derby. That's one heck of a first-round matchup. 1-2 to Porter, fouled away. Just by the build of Hollis Porter, you'd think he'd be more of a home run hitter rather than just hitting for dink and dunk singles this season. Hollis really hasn't hit the ball a long way. 1-2, he gets into one there, but a nice play at first by Corrali to haul it in. That one would have been a base hit if it wasn't for the big length of Corrali.
That's one of the better swings that we've seen from Hollis Porter tonight, and over the past couple of games he's really been struggling at the plate, but got a hold of that ball and lined it. But like you mentioned, the big frame of Corrali over there at first base, holding in that ball for a loud out number 1.
Hollis, 6'4", 220 pounds, just 3 doubles in the extra base hit category this season. No triples and no homers for the rising sophomore at Mississippi State. There's a pitch inside to Nathan Fink, and it catches our home plate umpire on the wrist. And Lyndon Coleman will come out and make sure he is all right. So will Bob Weiss, the Harrisonburg manager. While they're getting that sorted out, just a quick game reset. Tom Sox drove in the lone run of the game back in the first inning. Kyle Edwards led off the game with a single. Hollis Porter drew a walk, Nathan Fink drew a walk, and then Garrett Spikes draws a bases-loaded walk to drive in the one and only run of the ball game. And it's really been, other than that, a story about the pitchers. We just talked about Robert Kelly. He goes 7 innings, gives up 1 run on 6 hits. Ryan Lynch, the starter for Charlottesville, goes 5 innings, gives up just 2 hits, no runs allowed for him. A lot of strikeouts between both starters, as well as 7 for Kelly and 6 for Lynch. Tom Sox and the Turks have had their chances. For Charlottesville, the best chance came in the 7th inning, which is what we just saw a few moments ago. Runner on third with 1 out, but a fly out for Edwards and a ground out for Martinez ended that danger. And then for Harrisonburg, a couple chances for them. A runner on third with 2 outs in the first. They stranded Miles Hartsfield at third base. And then in that 7th inning as well, they had a runner on second with 1 out, runner on third with 2 out, and couldn't get any runs across the plate there. Still checking on the home plate umpire is the Harrisonburg trainer, and both managers and the base umpire as well. Change up from Chad Heiner on the inside part of the plate. And Delgado couldn't get there in time. It caught the arm of our home plate umpire, but it seems like he will be all right. A couple claps from the fans here in the stands. And it looks like we're getting ready to get back to play. Game 4 of the season series between these two teams. Harrisonburg took game 1. Charlottesville took games 2 and 3. Game 2 was here in Harrisonburg. Games 1 and 3 were at Show Airport Field. 1-0 the count to Nathan Fink. That fastball misses down low for ball 2. Fink tonight is 1 for 2 with a walk as he drills one into right field. And that is Micah Morgan backpedaling but making the catch. Not really a glare, but could have lost it in the lights. Didn't seem like he had the best track of that baseball, but nonetheless makes the out. And now there's 2 away.
The lights are bright here at Eagle Field, and Morgan backtracking a little bit. Like you mentioned, didn't take the best route to the ball, but regardless, still puts it away for the second out.
Now Garrett Spikes comes up to the dish. Just mentioned he has the lone RBI tonight for Charlottesville. His other 2 plate appearances have ended in forwards K's. Strikeout in the 3rd, strikeout in the 6th inning. Now a chance to get his first hit tonight. Takes a fastball outside and now on the inside corner. So it'll be 2-0. For the 3rd year Tom Sock. Hit 277 in his first season with Charlottesville in 2021, which had the names of Wyatt Langford, Jack Hurley on that team. 2 guys that were just taken in the top 3 rounds of the MLB draft. Langford went number 4 overall to Texas, and Hurley went in the top of the 3rd round to Arizona. 2-1 to Spikes. That's in the dirt. So put the count at 3-1, but then Spikes in his 2nd year with the team last year hit 276, hit the go-ahead home run in the championship game against Woodstock. 3-1 from Heiner to Spikes. That's drilled into left center field. It's going to get into the glove of Chris Katz. A hard line out to end the top of the 8th. The 1-2-3 start for Chad Heiner. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Harrisonburg running out of outs to try and tie this ball game. We'll have the Turks' possible response on the other side of this break on Tom Sox TV. Hayden Smith looking to tie his longest appearance of the season tonight. Smith is already through 2 innings. His longest appearance was his last against Newmarket when he went 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs allowed. As we'll get a pinch hitter to begin the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Jose Perez, who did all the damage for Harrisonburg back in game number 1 of this series. Drove in all 4 of the Turks' runs in that game 1 victory in Charlottesville. He will bat in the 8th spot for Matthew Delgado. And he takes the first pitch by Smith for strike 1.
Bob Weiss looking for a spark here with Perez. Has 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, a triple, and 3 doubles. However, is just hitting 193.
Looping breaking ball, catching the top of the zone for strike 2. So Perez gonna have to battle Mentioned 4 of his 11 RBIs this season came in that first game against Charlottesville. And the 0-2 pitch drills him. Or did it? It looked like it might have caught the back of his knee. But it bounced first, maybe went off the chest protector of Alexander and then hit Perez. Bit of a optical illusion there. So 1-2 the count from Smith to the pinch hitter Perez. The pitch. Fastball outside for a ball. One of Perez's 2 home runs this year also came in that 4 RBI game. Game 2 of the season. He was 2 for 5 in that game with a home run and 4 RBI. 2-2 fastball. Got him looking right down the middle. Hayden Smith. His second strikeout tonight gets the pinch hitter Perez looking.
Just another lackluster at-bat there for the Harrisonburg Turk lineup, and Perez, the pinch hitter, nearly got drilled by a pitch, but just watch that pitch go right down the middle from Smith. His 4th strikeout against the Tom Sox.
Hayden Smith dealing tonight. 2-1 line right back into the screen for Borges, who's struggling. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out tonight. Came into tonight hitting just 194 below the Mendoza line, the rising senior at South Alabama. 0-1 from Smith. Fastball skied into shallow center field. Edwards, Rivera, and Martinez converging. But Sergio Rivera will call everybody off and make the catch for out number 2.
You always like to see your outfielders take charge when your infielders are backpedaling, going out for the ball. Whenever an outfielder's coming in on the play, you have the better read and better judgment. Rivera calls off the middle infielders Edwards and Martinez, and just like that, 2 quick outs for Hayden Smith, who really is impressed in his first outing since June 27th.
And back to the top of the lineup in Ty Gill. Perfect time for Harrisonburg to get back to the top of its lineup. First pitch is lined into left field for a base hit. First hit tonight for Gill. And that's back-to-back innings with the hit now for Harrisonburg.
Gill just jumped on the first pitch from Smith there, not wasting any time and just rocketing that into left field, splitting in between Hinks and Edwards over there at third and short.
And for Harrisonburg, a key at-bat here for one of its better hitters in Miles Hartsfield. Led off his stat line tonight with a double in the first inning down the right field line. Takes the first pitch outside corner for strike 1. Then he struck out swinging in both the 3rd and the 6th. But a chance to extend this inning here for the Turks and bring up Micah Morgan, who's due for a base hit. Gill at first after the single. Smith will make a check over there. 1-0 Tom Sox here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That lone run came all the way back in the top of the 1st. 6 hits for the Tom Sox, 4 hits for the Turks tonight. Charlottesville looking for its 2nd shutout of the season. Another check over there to Gill. No stolen bases tonight for Harrisonburg, and for Charlottesville, only 1 in that category, and that was Kyle Edwards all the way back in the 1st inning. That's really just been due to a lack of base runners throughout tonight's game. And make that a 3rd pick over there for Hayden Smith.
This is the 2nd time that we've seen this. When Gill reached last in the 6th inning, it was basically like Ford and Smith having pitch and catch over there, keeping Gill honest over there at first base.
Still 0-1 the count, and make that 4 pickoff attempts in a row for Hayden Smith. The Harrisonburg fans starting to get into it a little bit. Gill doesn't even have a huge lead off of first. Finally, Smith goes to the plate, and after 4 pickoff attempts, he throws one on the inside for a ball.
Smith could also just be toying with the hitter Hartsfield. The last time that he did it, he got Hartsfield to strike out, really toying with him, and Hartsfield didn't look comfortable at the dish, just off balance after the plethora of pickoff moves.
1-1 to count to Hartsfield with 2 out, and he lines it foul along the netting.
on the left side. So Hayden Smith, 1-2 count, 2 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, looking to hold on to this 1-0 lead provided by Garrett Spikes, Ryan Lynch, and himself. Gill at first after the 2-out single. 1-2 the count from Hayden Smith, but first another check over there, the 5th in this at-bat alone. Really concerned about keeping Gill over there. Mentioned earlier, only 3 stolen bases this season for Ty Gill, the rising senior at Purdue. Smith takes a breath, 1-2 breaking ball, high chopper and foul. It's been the same 9 all night long for the Tom Sox offensively. The only change has been when they went from Lynch to Smith. Lynch went the first 5. Smith now an out away, a strike away from throwing 3 full innings. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Alexander keeps it in front of him. Good chase pitch, really working this at bat for both Hartsfield and Smith. And Gill making Smith work in a different way, getting a little bit of an aggressive lead on the base paths.
Gill, in 33 career games at Purdue, has yet to steal a base. So does have 3 this summer. Not really a huge base stealer.
2-2, another slider outside and in the dirt. Blocked by Alexander, so the count goes full. It'll be 3-2 with 2 out. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Trent Corrali is not on deck. Micah Morgan is on deck, the number 3 hitter for Harrisonburg. They make that 6 checks now over to Gill at first base. Morgan tonight is 0 for 3. After him, it would be Chris Katz, who's 1 for 3. Right here, the most important at-bat of the game so far. 3-2, 2 out, bottom of the 8th. Tom Sox clean to a 1-0 lead. The pitch upstairs, ball 4. And Hartsfield, after about a 5-minute at-bat, draws ball 4 to put runners on second and first with 2 out.
It's a good at-bat for Hartsfield there, and he started off this rally for Harrisonburg in the first inning, doubling. Now here in the 8th, draws a walk. Is like you mentioned, that at-bat felt like it was just dragging on, but now Harrisonburg has 2 runners on, the first time that that's happened in a long time here tonight, and arguably their top hitter.
It's the first time it's happened tonight for Harrisonburg that they've had 2 runners on base. The first pitch to Micah Morgan is inside for ball 1. And if you're the Tom Sox, Morgan's the last guy you want to face right now. Entering the night against Charlottesville was 5 for 12 with a double, a triple, and an RBI. Hitting .388 on the season, entering tonight with 19 RBIs. 1-0 fastball. That catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Morgan has a lot of pop in that left-handed bat. You mentioned the 2 extra base hits that he had against Charlottesville, and he's one of their most dangerous hitters, and especially with runners on late game situations, not the guy that you want to be facing.
1-1 delivery from Smith, a big cut from Micah Morgan for strike number 2. Morgan, 11 doubles this season, 38 hits in 101 at-bats, this being his 25th game of the summer. 1-2 the count, 2 runners on for the Turks. The pitch from Smith grounded into left field for a base hit. Spikes charging. Around third is Gill. The throw to the plate is not in time, and we are tied at 1.
Well, you saw on the play there, Connor Hinks guarding the line, playing the no doubles defense, and that ball was just hit right where Hinks would normally be playing over there at third base, but Morgan, we talked about how clutch he is in coming up in late game situations, and once again, coming up with a massive hit, tying this game up at 1, and still, this is a dangerous spot here because Chris Katz is coming up. He's 1 for 3 in the game, has a lot of pop, and there's still 2 runners on.
Lyndon Coleman out to talk with Hayden Smith. There was somebody warming up in the Tom Sox bullpen, and we are going to get a pitching change. Hayden Smith looked great over his first 2 2/3 innings of work. Retired the first 2 guys here in the 8th inning, and then gives up a 2-out single, walk, and then a RBI single for Micah Morgan, and we are tied at 1 as the Tom Sox will bring in their third arm of the game. We'll take a quick break here on Tom Sox TV while the new arm warms up. Don't go anywhere. Baby Shark plays over the loud systems as Luke Calveric will be the new arm for the Tom Sox, making his second appearance in a Charlottesville uniform, the rising senior at William & Mary, Richmond native. His lone appearance so far this season was on July the 2nd against Culpeper. He went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits, walked 2 and struck out 2, and he comes in a huge spot here for Lyndon Coleman's squad in the 8th.
It's a massive spot after the game-tying single from Micah Morgan. Morgan stands on first base. Miles Hartsfield in scoring position over there at second base. And oh, by the way, Calveric has to face the cleanup hitter, Chris Katz, who's 1 for 3 on the day, but has a lot of pop. 2 home runs so far in just 2 home runs in 2 games, 3 RBIs. That was coming into tonight in only 8 at-bats, so a lot of thunder out of the right-handed bat of Katz, and it should be a very big matchup here and an exciting one.
Speaking of pop, Julio Rodriguez has put up 42 home runs at his home field in Seattle in the first round of the Derby. But back to baseball here, tied at 1, bottom of the 8th. Miles Hartfield at second, Micah Morgan at first. With 2 away, Calveric in the game. The first pitch to Chris Katz gets away from KJ Alexander. A wild pitch will put 2 runners in scoring position for Harrisonburg, and a base hit could bring in both the go-ahead run and an insurance run.
Well, that's not how Calveric wanted to start his evening. He lost the handle on that pitch, spiked it right in the dirt, and it got past Alexander, moving both runners up 90 feet. And now that eliminates the force at any base. They have to go to first.
So put Hartsfield at third, Morgan at second. 1-0 the count to Katz. The pitch grounded into left field, base hit. Hartsfield scores easily. The throw from Spikes will nab the runner Morgan at the plate. But Chris Katz, the hero for Harrisonburg in this bottom of the 8th inning. Micah Morgan ties it with an RBI single. Then Chris Katz gives the Turks the lead with an RBI single. And just like that, the Tom Sox are 3 outs away from a defeat after leading 1-0 all the way to the 2-out mark in the bottom of the 8th inning. Charlottesville needs a run in the top of the 9th to tie this game. But if we know anything about the Tom Sox, they will not go down without a fight. We'll see the Tom Sox have another comeback in them on the other side of this break on Tom Sox TV.
Harrisonburg 2 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the 8th inning. Charlottesville led 1-0 from the top of the first all the way to the bottom of the 8th. But now in the top of the 9th, the Tom Sox have their backs against the wall with KJ Alexander, Connor Hanks, and Henry Ford due up. Nathan Schwartz, Alex Rocco with you. And Alex, what happened in that bottom of the 8th?
Well, it was smooth sailing for Hayden Smith through his first few innings out in the contest and got the first 2 outs in the 8th inning, but just lost control, lost command. Singles to Ty Gill, a walk to Miles Hartsfield, Micah Morgan coming up with a huge game-tying RBI single, and then Chris Katz literally hitting it in the same exact spot that Morgan did. Gets the go-ahead run, but an excellent throw by Garrett Spikes out in left field to nab Morgan coming home, which would have made the score 3-1. It would have been a crucial insurance run, but now the Sox trail 2-1 here. We've seen the Sox come up with their backs against the walls plenty of times this year, back in their 8-game winning streak. 6 of those were comeback wins.
So Garfield Johns, the new arm for Harrisonburg. We'll get into his stats right here. So the first pitch is outside to Alexander. Johns, 8 appearances. He's thrown 10 innings, given up just 1 run on 8 hits, 3 walks to 17 strikeouts. He is Harrisonburg's closer as Alexander swung and missed through the 1-0. Here's the 1-1 changeup taken by KJ for strike 2. Johns a sub-1 ERA, 1-0 with 4 saves. 1-2, high fastball, got him swinging.
Johns with a similar approach to the starter for the Turks tonight, Robert Kelly, immediately getting the ball back from his catcher Delgado, towing up the rubber and firing right away. Really just sped up the pace of Alexander there, who wanted to call time, step out, but didn't have the ability to, and just like that, he set down for the first out of the inning.
All the Turks pitchers really just pitch with nothing to lose,
Wasting no time getting back to the rubber. As now Connor Hanks down in the count 0-1, takes the 0-1 fastball up in the zone to make the count 1-1. There's really just no time to breathe in between these pitches for these hitters as Hanks gets jammed, pops it foul. The count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This is a tough matchup for Hanks or any lefty, just with his delivery and his motion and how fast he goes. It's nearly unhittable for lefties.
1-2 to Hanks, pops it up behind the stands and foul. Hanks, the most successful Tom Sock in the lineup tonight, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. He's got a third of the Tom Sox hits. Johns out of the wind, 1-2 breaking ball in the turf. And the count will even at 2. Johns, this is his first appearance against Charlottesville this season. The rising senior at South Alabama. 2-2 fastball, that misses. Hanks doesn't chase. So the count goes full, and a 1-out base runner would be huge for Charlottesville right here. Johns with the sign, payoff delivery, ball 4, and Connor Hanks gets on base for the 3rd time tonight. Charlottesville has a 1-out base runner in the 9th.
Hanks has really had an excellent game here tonight. Like you mentioned, on base 3 out of 4 times tonight. That's a big walk. Get Hanks on base, the guy who likes to swipe some bases, and now Henry Ford, who doubled in his last at-bat. Let's see if he can continue it here.
First pitch to Henry, fastball up and out for a ball. Henry tonight is 1 for 3. He had a double in his last at-bat to lead off the 7th. 1-0. Popped up foul behind our heads and out of the stadium to even the count at 1.
Interesting look with Johns when working with a runner on. His delivery is more closed off to the hitter. When he's facing guys, and especially Hanks, his delivery was more open and his front foot was more open, but now it's more closed off toward Ford.
1-1 to Ford, lines it foul. Was way late on that fastball, so the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ford this season against Harrisonburg is 2 for 6 with a double, or 2 doubles rather. So his 2 hits doubles. A double would be huge right here for Ford and the Tom Sox. Hanks on first, 1 out. 2-1 Turks, the 1-2 fastball just misses outside for ball 2.
Excellent discipline there by Ford. It's really hard to tell that he's a rising freshman at UVA. Great plate discipline there. That last take, another example.
That pitch lined up the middle, diving stop by the second baseman, Burgess. He throws the first, and that's a game-ending 4-6-3 double play, a web gem to end it for Harrisonburg. The Turks with a big 8th inning rally, and the Tom Sox stunned here on the road. It was a 1-0 lead for Charlottesville all the way through to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Bob Weiss's squad with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. RBI singles from the number 3 and 4 hitters, Micah Morgan and Chris Katz. Katz with the game-winning single. And the final numbers tonight, the Tom Sox only 1 run on 6 hits, no errors. For Harrisonburg, 2 runs on 6 hits with no errors. The winning pitcher tonight will be Chad Kiner, and the save will go to Garfield Johns. The losing pitcher, Hayden Smith, who drops to 0-2 on the season. The Tom Sox technically dropped now their 2nd game in a row, with the 2nd game of the doubleheader yesterday not currently completed, is actively suspended. If that game were to be finished, the Tom Sox record would now be 18-9, but instead 17-9, the record as it stands right now. Alex, your final thoughts?
This is just a brutal loss for the Tom Sox, and a start that they really had right away. Were threatening in the 1st inning. Kyle Edwards came around to score on a Garrett Spikes RBI walk, and they had bases loaded with 1 out in the 1st inning, and KJ Alexander bounces into a double play, which ended that threat, and then it was just a pitcher's duel from the rest of the game, basically until that 8th inning. Ryan Lynch was dominant out on the mound, so was Robert Kelly for the Turks, and it was a 1-0 game throughout, and just the Tom Sox went to their bullpen, and Hayden Smith was excellent in his first 2 outings, but got the first 2 outs in the 8th inning too, and just lost command, lost control and focus. And you got to give credit to this Harrisonburg lineup. They battled back, they fought through it and hit. They got some clutch base hits and clutch walks, and just like that, they're 2-1 winners. And this is a brutal defeat for the Tom Sox, but they're back in action, and there's a lot of baseball left for Charlottesville, so they have to keep this loss, get rid of it, and move forward on the season.
So the Tom Sox, as of right now, dropped to 17-9 on the season. The Turks, on the other hand, moved to 16-11 and now split the season series with Charlottesville. That's a big season split. Now that would go to another tiebreaker if those 2 teams not wind up with the same record in the Valley Baseball League. The top 8 teams will make the playoffs. As of right now, the season has been extended a day to July 25th with all the rainouts covering Central and Northern Virginia. But that will do it for us here tonight. A stunner in Harrisonburg. The Tom Sox fall 2-1. For Alex ROCCO, I'm Nathan Schwartz signing off from Eagle Field. Myself and Gianni Maltese will be on the call tomorrow night back at Cho Airport Field for tomorrow night's matchup against Newmarket. I'll talk to you then, and have a good night, everybody.